Are you happy in your business? Now, I have had my share of emotional ups and downs in my 20 years of being a solo entrepreneur coach. And the patterns I've seen in myself and in my clients is that those downs are usually when I was personally feeling unfulfilled. Sometimes it was because a launch that flopped, and sometimes it was just life and had nothing to do with business. But those ups, oh boy, those are the times when I was feeling my most authentic and completely aligned to my purpose, or when I just felt like I was rocking that work-life balance. I would be thinking I could do this all day long and never feel tired. One of my loves is sharing what works for me and what has been working for my clients to achieve this very feeling, full of passion, happiness, peace, and freedom. So I decided to create a private podcast for coaches. Maybe you just want to develop better communication skills that boosts engagement, leads to better results, and makes you feel like you're actually making a difference in the lives of the people you serve. Then you're invited too. We talk about this and more in the UBU private podcast for coaches. Whether you're a mentor, a parent, or run a client-focused business, coaching skills benefit everyone and anyone who wants to communicate in a way that builds relationships. Fall in love with your life and business again. Click the link in the show notes for your invitation to join us right now. Then come back and enjoy this episode. Hey, Difference Maker, welcome back. This is part 2 of our bite-sized deep dive, talking about chakra personalities after my interview with Amy Stevens. Today, we're going to talk about what I learned about myself after my session with her and what I like about her perspective and also what I didn't like about it. Let's go ahead and get started. It's time to stop comparing yourself to others and plug into what is uniquely you. Welcome to Unbox Your Personality, the podcast for coaches, creatives, and educators like you who understand that your happiness makes you more effective at what you do, bringing out the best in others. I'm Jen P. Higgins, personality strategist and Enneagram fluff remover. Get laser focused on who you are and who you aren't, so you're free to make the impact you were born to make. And have fun doing it. Your personality is your business. So let's get down to business. Last bite-sized deep dive, I talked a little bit about my session with Amy and how that physically went, but the conversation afterward was really what got me excited. So she helped me recognize that my 5th chakra, which is the throat chakra, was blocked or was misaligned and it needed more aligning. So she recommended some yoga practices, yoga exercises, and breathing exercises I could do that could help realign that chakra. We ran out of time, so I asked her if I could meet up with her one more time before I recorded this podcast episode, just to feel really grounded, which is ironic because grounding is hard for me, being a head type. So to help me get grounded in exactly what she was trying to share in her interview. Normally how she would assess someone's personality based on their chakras is not actually a test. It's more like what I do with the Enneagram. I don't test you. I take a narrative approach and I get to know you and I get to understand you and I listen and watch your body language to help you determine what your Enneagram type is. This is what she's also doing with helping her identify what chakras might be blocked based on your personality. Very, very similar, and that's why I think it's cool. So what she was able to determine with me was that I was primarily a schizoid personality. If you don't remember all the details of that, go back and listen to episode 7 and listen to her description to the schizoid personality. Again, that's just a label. You know how I feel about labels, but it's a vocabulary term that helps communicate a set of traits that guides Amy in how she can help you heal. So for the schizoid personality, it's very much a head type. One of the thought patterns is my mind is my body. And therefore, a lot of times I do not feel grounded. I do not feel grounded because I'm always in my head.
And even though in our session, she was able to identify that I had a misalignment in my throat chakra. And also she said primarily that there was a deficiency in my root chakra. She actually went through each of the chakras from 1 to 7, all the way through, and explained to me where my deficiencies are for this schizoid personality profile, where the typical deficiencies are, and where this personality profile is highly developed. So I'm deficient in my root and I'm deficient in my throat chakras, but my third eye chakra and my head chakras are highly developed. And I think that's really interesting because it coincides with a type 7 personality. But the biggest difference is that chakras change. Your misalignments in your chakras change because it's based on trauma. In little t trauma or big T trauma, it's based on your experiences and the energy that is present, whether created by you or created by your environment, shapes how the energy is flowing in your body. My best analogy for that is if you think about magnets. Magnets stick to each other. And if you're in a magnetic field, you'll get pulled or drawn in a certain way, or the energy will get pulled or drawn in that certain way because of the energy in the room that's produced by those magnets. That's why sometimes physical therapy methods actually use magnets or use electric pads. I know when I was in physical therapy, they put these electrical patches all up and down my leg trying to wake it up again. So it's very similar to that when you're looking at chakras and how it affects your personality. It affects your pain level, whether it's unconscious or subconscious. It can affect your appearance of whether you're standing up straight or you're slumping over, depending on how confident you're feeling because of the energy that's in your environment. So that's the biggest difference. Chakras are always changing, but your Enneagram type never changes, even though your behaviors change. So when do you use which? That is what I'm going to be talking about in the next bite-sized deep dive.
Thank you for listening, subscribing, and reviewing the Unbox Your Personality podcast. To learn more about yourself, go to powercoachjen.com. Find out how you are different so you can make your difference.